had 48 hours to save my sister's life. 48 hours to track down someone who'd been hiding in shadows for decades. 48 hours to make an impossible choice between saving Maya and protecting 16,500 victims who'd just gotten their lives back. The clock started ticking the moment I saw that video. And with every passing second, I became more certain of one terrible truth. I was going to have to become the very thing I'd been fighting against. Sentinel's operations floor transformed into a war room within minutes of Maya's kidnapping. Jake worked multiple computers simultaneously, tracing the video's digital fingerprints. Daniel coordinated with FBI contacts who owed him favors. Jennifer assembled a tactical response team. And I stood in the center of it all, feeling more helpless than I'd ever felt in a courtroom. The video was uploaded from a server in Romania, Jake said, but that's just a relay. The original upload came from somewhere in the tri-state area. I'm working on narrowing it down. The director's voice came through the speakers. Robert, you said Morrison was terrified of the administrator. What exactly did she tell you? Robert Chung looked pale. He'd been Morrison's financial advisor, but even he seemed shaken by this escalation. She said the administrator never appears in person. Everything is handled through intermediaries. She met with them once, 5 years ago, but it was in complete darkness. Voice modulated, no identifying features visible. She said it was like negotiating with a ghost. That's not helpful, I snapped. Ghosts don't kidnap people. Someone took Maya. Someone with a physical presence, identifiable faces, traceable movements. Unless they hired contractors, Jennifer said. Professional kidnappers who don't know who's paying them. It's how high-level criminals maintain deniability. Daniel's phone rang. He answered, listened intently, then hung up with a grim expression. That was my contact at NYPD. They found Maya's phone in a dumpster 3 blocks from where she was taken. Destroyed, no data recoverable. But security cameras in the area caught something interesting. He pulled up grainy footage showing 3 men in dark clothes grabbing Maya and forcing her into a black SUV. The license plate was covered, the windows tinted too dark to see inside. The SUV was stolen from a rental company in Newark 2 days ago. Found abandoned in Queens 20 minutes after Maya was taken. Wiped clean of prints, DNA, everything. These are professionals, Jennifer said. Military-grade planning and execution. I felt sick. So we have nothing. No leads, no evidence, no way to find her. We have one thing, Jake said quietly. He pulled up an analysis of the ransom message. The administrator made a mistake. They said to return the $847 million to the following accounts. But the message included 17 account numbers. Cryptocurrency wallets, supposedly untraceable. Supposedly. Nothing is completely untraceable. Every cryptocurrency transaction is recorded on a blockchain. The trick is connecting wallet addresses to real-world identities. These 17 wallets look clean at first glance, but if I follow the transaction history far enough back. He worked for 20 minutes, following digital breadcrumbs through thousands of transactions. Finally, he found something. Got it. 6 months ago, one of these wallets received a payment from an exchange that requires identity verification. The account is registered to a shell company called Meridian Holdings, incorporated in Delaware. I felt a spark of hope. Can we trace Meridian's ownership? Already on it. The shell company has 3 layers of corporate structure, but at the center. Jake's expression changed. Victoria, you need to see this. He pulled up incorporation documents. Meridian Holdings was owned by a trust, which was managed by a law firm which represented a single client. Judge Patricia Martinez. The same judge who'd sentenced me to 5 years disbarment. The same judge who'd praised me for exposing corruption. The same judge I'd trusted to be one of the good ones. That can't be right, I said. Judge Martinez helped expose the corrupt judges. She supported the investigation. Or she eliminated her competition, the director said. Think about it, Victoria. Morrison's network is dismantled. The syndicate is exposed. Whitmore and Associates is under investigation. Who benefits from all that chaos? Someone who wanted to be the only game in town, Daniel said slowly. Someone who used us to clear the field. Robert nodded. That's how the administrator operates. They don't fight rivals directly. They manipulate others into destroying threats for them. Morrison was useful until she became ambitious. Then the administrator arranged for her exposure. And I was the weapon they used, I said, feeling the weight of it. Every case I exposed, every network I helped dismantle, I was doing exactly what the administrator wanted. We had 42 hours left. Judge Martinez was scheduled to preside over a hearing at the federal courthouse in 4 hours. Jennifer proposed a bold plan. We can't grab her publicly, she's too high profile. But we can bug her chambers, track her movements, and follow her when she leaves for the day. She'll lead us to wherever they're holding Maya. That's assuming she's directly involved, Daniel said. The administrator uses intermediaries. Martinez might just be a financial conduit. Then we make her more than that, I said. We force her to become directly involved. I pulled out my phone and composed a message to the account that had sent the ransom demand. I have new information about Sentinel Solutions and the director's operation. Information the administrator will want. I'm willing to trade it for my sister. But I'll only discuss terms with someone who has authority to negotiate. Not intermediaries. Not contractors. Someone real. I hit send before anyone could stop me. Victoria, what are you doing? The director demanded. I'm offering them something they want more than money. Knowledge about your operation. If the administrator is as paranoid as Robert says, they'll want to know who you are, what you know, what threats you pose. You're using yourself as bait. I'm creating an opportunity. They'll send someone with authority to negotiate. We follow that person back to the administrator. And we find Maya. My phone buzzed within 60 seconds. Interesting offer. Meet at the location below. Tonight, 11 p.m. Come alone. Bring proof of what you claim to know. The attached location was an abandoned warehouse in Red Hook. Of course it was. It's a trap, Jennifer said. Obviously. But it's a trap that gets us closer to Maya. I'll wear a wire, tracking devices, whatever you need. But I'm going. The director was quiet for a long moment. Agreed. But Victoria, if this goes wrong, if they grab you too, we'll have lost our best chance of finding your sister. Then it better not go wrong. Jennifer's team spent the next 6 hours preparing for the meeting. They equipped me with 3 separate tracking devices. One in my watch, one in my jacket lining, one surgically implanted under my skin, which hurt exactly as much as you'd expect. I wore a wire that broadcast to 3 separate receivers. Jake set up a drone that would provide aerial surveillance of the warehouse. Daniel coordinated with a tactical team that would be staged 1 block away. Remember, Jennifer said as she did a final equipment check, your job is to gather intelligence and stay alive. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to negotiate beyond what's necessary. Get information, let them think they're controlling the situation, and trust us to get you out. What if they search me and find the devices? The watch and jacket are meant to be found. They're decoys. The subcutaneous tracker is invisible to standard scanners. As long as they don't do a full medical scan, you're good. At 10:30 p.m., I drove to Red Hook alone. The warehouse district was dark and quiet, with only a few security lights breaking the shadows. The address they'd given me was a massive brick building that had once been a shipping facility. The front door was open. I walked in, heart pounding, trying to project confidence I didn't feel. The interior was dimly lit by portable lights. In the center of the empty space was a single chair and a table with a laptop. Ms. Sterling. The voice came from speakers mounted high on the walls. Female, electronically distorted. Thank you for coming. Please sit. I sat, looking around for cameras but seeing nothing obvious. You claim to have information about Sentinel Solutions. About the director. What makes you think we're interested? Because you're the administrator. You operate from shadows, eliminating anyone who threatens your control. The director represents exactly that kind of threat, someone building an organization designed to hunt people like you. Interesting theory. What exactly do you know about the director? I know they're running a sophisticated intelligence operation out of a facility in Midtown Manhattan. I know they have assets in multiple countries. I know they've been investigating networks like Morrison's for years. And I know they have information that could expose you. Such as... I pulled out a USB drive, prepared by Jake with just enough real information to seem valuable, but nothing that would actually compromise Sentinel. Financial records. Communications intercepts. Identity profiles of people in your network. Everything the director has compiled on the administrator's operations. Put it on the table. I placed the USB drive on the table. A mechanical arm emerged from the ceiling, sophisticated robotics to avoid any human contact, and retrieved the drive. We'll verify this information. If it's genuine, we'll discuss your sister's release. Not good enough. I want proof she's alive. Now. There was a pause. Then a video appeared on the laptop screen. Maya was sitting in what looked like a basement or underground room. She was bound to a chair but appeared unharmed. A timestamp showed the video was from 20 minutes ago. As you can see, your sister is being treated well. Whether that continues depends entirely on your cooperation. What do you want from me? We want you to stop interfering in our operations. You've caused significant damage over the past year. Networks we spent decades building have been exposed. Associates we've protected for years are now facing prosecution. You've been a very expensive problem, Ms. Sterling. I exposed corruption. I helped victims get justice. You disrupted carefully maintained systems. The legal world requires a certain amount of flexibility. We provide that flexibility in exchange for reasonable compensation. You've threatened that equilibrium by revealing that judges take bribes and lawyers manipulate evidence. By destroying nuance. The legal system isn't black and white. It requires pragmatism, accommodation, practical solutions to complex problems. We facilitate those solutions. As the administrator talked, I noticed something on the video feed of Maya. In the background, barely visible, was a window. Through it, I could see a specific configuration of buildings lit up against the night sky. I recognized that skyline view. There were only a few locations in New York with that exact angle on those specific buildings. Maya was being held somewhere in Tribeca, probably in one of the old industrial buildings that had been converted to luxury spaces. Your information checks out, the administrator said. We're willing to negotiate your sister's release. But first, we need one more thing from you. What? We need you to eliminate the director. My blood went cold. Excuse me. The director has become too dangerous. Their organization has too much information, too many capabilities. We want them removed. You have access to their facility, their trust, their inner circle. Kill the director and your sister goes free. You want me to commit murder. We want you to choose between your sister and a vigilante who's been operating outside the law for years. Shouldn't be a difficult decision for someone who's spent their career defending criminals. I sat in that chair, staring at the laptop, processing what they'd just asked me to do. Kill the director, someone I'd never even seen, someone who'd recruited me to fight corruption in exchange for Maya's life. How do I know you'll actually release her? You don't. You have to trust that we keep our word. You're criminals asking me to commit murder. Why would I trust anything you say? Because you don't have a choice. You have 36 hours left. Kill the director, provide proof, and your sister lives. Refuse, and she dies. It's remarkably simple. The video feed switched to show Maya again. This time, someone was standing behind her, holding a knife close to her throat. Just so we're clear about the consequences of refusal. The feed cut out. I sat there for another minute, then stood up and walked out of the warehouse. My mind was racing. I had the information we needed, Maya's approximate location. But now I had an impossible choice. The tactical team was waiting when I got back to my car. Did you get the location? Jennifer asked. Tribeca. Industrial conversion buildings. The view through the window shows buildings that narrow it down to maybe 6 properties. That's enough. We can search them all within a few hours. There's a problem, I said. They want me to kill the director. In exchange for Maya. Daniel's expression darkened. They're trying to turn you into a criminal. Make you one of them. Or they're testing me, I said slowly. Seeing if I'll actually do it. Because the administrator knows the director's identity. They know I don't. How can I kill someone I've never met? Jake spoke up from his mobile workstation. Unless they expect you to kill whoever you think is the director. Which means they're watching Sentinel, trying to identify leadership through your actions. It's an intelligence-gathering operation disguised as an assassination demand, Jennifer said. Smart. Either you lead them to the director, or you refuse and prove you can't be controlled. What do I do? The director's voice came through our secure communication channel. You do exactly what they asked. You kill me. What? Not really, of course. But we stage my death convincingly enough that the administrator believes it. Then we use their false sense of security to locate Maya and strike. That's insane. That's strategy. Victoria, the administrator, has been one step ahead of us throughout this entire situation. It's time to let them think they've won. And when they drop their guard, we attack. We had 32 hours left. The plan was risky, complex, and depended on perfect execution. But it was the only option we had. First, Jake created digital evidence of the director's murder. We couldn't stage an actual death without bodies and crime scenes, but we could create convincing digital proof, surveillance footage, medical records, news reports that wouldn't be published but could be shown to the administrator's representatives. Jennifer's team worked with professional makeup artists and special effects experts to create photo and video evidence of a fatal shooting in the director's supposed residence, an apartment we rented specifically for this purpose. I would be the shooter, captured on security footage that Jake would expertly fabricate. The director would appear to fight back, then collapse with realistic-looking gunshot wounds. The footage was disturbingly convincing. When Jake showed me the final product, it genuinely looked like I'd committed murder. This feels wrong, I said. It is wrong, the director's voice responded, but wrong in service of right. Your sister's life is worth more than my ego or our operational security. What if they verify? What if they have sources who can confirm you're still alive? Then we deal with that when it happens. But right now, this is our best chance. I sent the video to the administrator with a simple message. It's done. Release my sister. The response came within minutes. Impressive. We didn't think you had it in you. Your sister will be released to the location below within 2 hours. Come alone to retrieve her. The location was a parking garage in Tribeca, close to where we'd estimated Maya was being held. It's a trap, Daniel said. Obviously, I replied. But they have to produce Maya to maintain credibility. We follow me to the exchange, grab Maya when she appears, and trace whoever brings her back to their base of operations. Jennifer shook her head. Too many variables. They could have shooters positioned, they could kill both of you, they could. They won't kill me yet, I interrupted. I'm too valuable. I just proved I'll commit murder for them. The administrator will want to recruit me, control me, use me like they used everyone else. The director spoke. Victoria's right. This is their recruitment pitch. They break you morally, prove you're capable of anything, then offer you a place in their organization. It's how they've always operated. I looked at the clock. We had 28 hours left, and we were finally taking action instead of reacting. Then let's go get my sister. I arrived at the parking garage at the specified time, 2:37 a.m. The place was empty except for a few cars, the fluorescent lights casting harsh shadows. I walked to level 3 as instructed. My heart pounded as I scanned for Maya, for threats, for any sign of what was coming. A black SUV pulled up. The same vehicle from Maya's kidnapping video. The back door opened and Maya stumbled out. She was blindfolded, hands zip-tied, but she was alive. Maya! I started toward her, but a voice stopped me. Not yet, Ms. Sterling. A figure stepped out of the SUV. Average height, wearing a mask and dark clothes. Voice modulated. First, we need to discuss your future. You've proven yourself willing to do what's necessary. That makes you valuable. The administrator wants to offer you a position in the organization. I don't want a position. I want my sister. You'll get your sister. But consider this opportunity. You've been fighting against the system for years. Fighting against the reality that justice is a commodity, bought and sold like any other resource. Join us, and you can stop fighting. You can be part of something that actually works. I've heard this pitch before. From Morrison, from Amanda, from Sarah. They all claim to be offering something better. They were all just criminals justifying their crimes. And yet you just committed murder for us. What does that make you? The question hung in the air. What did it make me? I'd created false evidence of killing someone to save Maya. I'd crossed lines I swore I'd never cross. It makes me someone who protects family. Nothing more. We'll see. Take your sister. But know this, you owe us now. And we always collect our debts. The figure got back into the SUV and drove away. I ran to Maya, pulling off her blindfold and cutting her restraints. Victoria. Oh God, I thought. You're safe. It's over. But it wasn't over. As I held Maya, I noticed something. A small tracking device attached to her jacket. And on my jacket, a matching device I hadn't placed there. They'd tagged us both. The administrator could follow our movements, watch our actions, monitor our lives. Jennifer's voice came through my earpiece. Victoria, we've got a problem. The SUV went underground into a parking structure, and we lost the signal. But something else just lit up on our sensors. There are 3 more vehicles converging on your location. You need to move. Now. I grabbed Maya and ran for my car, but we didn't make it. The 3 vehicles blocked our exit, and armed figures emerged from each one. We were surrounded. A different figure approached. This one walked with authority, and when they spoke, the voice wasn't modulated. Hello, Victoria. I think it's time we met properly. No more intermediaries, no more shadows. Just a conversation between 2 people who understand how power really works. The figure removed their mask. I stared in shock. It was someone I'd known for years. Someone who'd been in the background of my entire career. Someone I'd never suspected because they were too obvious, too public, too seemingly legitimate. Judge Patricia Martinez. Surprised? She asked, smiling. You shouldn't be. I've been right in front of you the entire time. Every hearing you attended, every case you argued, every victory you celebrated, I was watching, learning, planning. And now, finally, we can talk about what comes next. She gestured to her armed contractors. Bring them both. It's time Victoria learned what the administrator's organization really does, and why she's going to join us whether she wants to or not. As they dragged Maya and me toward one of the vehicles, I realized the terrible truth. We'd rescued Maya from one trap only to fall into another. And this time there was no backup plan, no clever strategy, no way out. The administrator had won.